It started with a simple moment that many couples would brush off. But this one spiraled into something much bigger. A single swipe on a phone turned into a question about trust, honesty, and whether growing up ever truly ends. On a quiet Sunday evening in a small town near Brighton, Emily thought the house finally felt calm again. Dinner dishes were done. The TV hummed softly in the background, and her husband, Daniel, was sprawled across the couch, scrolling on his phone like he did every night. Nothing unusual. At least that's what Emily believed. As she walked past him to grab a glass of water, her eyes caught something on his screen. It was quick, almost invisible, but her instincts kicked in before her logic did. A photo flashed by, bright lighting, gym mirrors, and a woman posing confidently in tight workout clothes. Emily stopped walking. She turned back slowly and tried to keep her voice calm. "Who's that?" she asked, nodding toward the phone. Daniel didn't even look up at first. "Oh, just an ad," he said casually, swiping again a little too fast. That answer didn't sit right with Emily. She had seen ads before. This didn't feel like one. She pressed a little more. "An ad for what?" Daniel hesitated. Just for a second, but that second felt loud. "Well, I think she's some kind of athlete. Maybe a fighter or something." Emily smiled politely and walked away, but her stomach tightened. They had been here before. Not exactly like this, but close enough to reopen old wounds. A year earlier, they'd had a serious argument about Daniel following dozens of so-called fitness models online. He promised it meant nothing. He promised he'd be more mindful. He promised honesty. And Emily had chosen to believe him. Later that night, when Daniel went to shower, Emily did something she wasn't proud of. She picked up her phone and searched the name she remembered from his screen. It didn't take long to find her. Emily scrolled quietly. One photo, another, then another, swimwear, posing shots, carefully angled gym photos. Very little about sports, almost nothing about actual competition. It felt less like training content and more like attention-seeking glamour. Emily's chest tightened, not from jealousy, but from disappointment. When Daniel came back into the living room, towel around his neck, he could tell something was wrong. "You okay?" he asked. Emily looked at him, her voice steady but cold. "You lied." Daniel frowned. "About what?" "She's not an ad, and she's barely an athlete. Why couldn't you just say you follow her?" The silence that followed felt heavy. Daniel rubbed his face and sighed. "I didn't want to start a fight," he said. Emily laughed softly, but there was no humor in it. "So, lying was better?" That question hung in the air. Daniel didn't answer right away. When he finally did, his voice was defensive. "It's just Instagram. I wasn't talking to her. I wasn't doing anything wrong." Emily felt something crack inside her. This wasn't about the woman on the screen anymore. It was about respect. "I'm not stupid," she said quietly. "I know people notice attractive people, but don't insult me by pretending I didn't see what I saw." Daniel sat down, frustration growing. "So what, now I'm not allowed to look at anything?" That hurt more than Emily expected. She shook her head. "I'm asking for honesty, that's all." The argument didn't explode that night. Instead, it simmered. The kind of quiet tension that keeps you awake even when the lights are off. Emily lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the moment over and over. The next morning, still feeling unsettled, Emily did something unexpected. She opened her laptop and logged into an online parenting and relationship forum she sometimes read but rarely posted in. She needed perspective from strangers who didn't know her, didn't know Daniel, and wouldn't take sides just because they loved someone. She wrote about the Instagram moment, about the lie, about the past issues. And finally, she asked a question that had been echoing in her mind all night. Am I overreacting? Or do men ever truly grow up? She hit post and closed the laptop, feeling exposed. By the afternoon, replies started pouring in. Some were blunt. Marriage means respect, one person wrote. If he's hiding it, he knows it's wrong. Another comment hit even harder. If my partner lied so easily about something small, I'd wonder what else they'd lie about. Emily felt seen, but also uneasy. Not all responses agreed with her. One person wrote, "If my husband monitored my phone like that, I'd feel controlled. Looking isn't cheating." Another added, "People don't stop finding others attractive just because they're married. Expecting that is unrealistic." Emily read every single comment, her emotions swinging back and forth. Validation, doubt, anger, confusion. She wasn't angry that Daniel had eyes. She was angry that he treated her like she wouldn't understand. That evening, Daniel noticed her quiet mood. "You still upset?" he asked. Emily nodded. "I asked other people what they thought." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Online people?" "Yes, because I needed honesty, something we didn't have last night." Daniel exhaled slowly and sat beside her. For the first time, his tone softened. "I didn't mean to make you feel disrespected," he said. "I just didn't think it was a big deal." Emily looked at him. "It becomes a big deal when you hide it." That was the moment Daniel went silent. He didn't apologize right away. He didn't defend himself either. He just stared at the floor, realizing that this wasn't about social media anymore. It was about trust slipping through small cracks. And this was only the beginning. If you've ever found yourself questioning whether something small really is small, you're not alone. Before this story continues, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us share more real-life stories like this with you. Because what happened next between Emily and Daniel would force them to face truths they'd both been avoiding. And the choices they made next would change their relationship forever. The next few days passed with an uneasy silence that felt heavier than any argument. Emily and Daniel were still polite, still functioning as a couple on the surface. But something fragile had cracked beneath their routine. Breakfasts were quieter, conversations stayed shallow, and every time Daniel picked up his phone, Emily noticed, even when she tried not to. Daniel, on the other hand, felt watched, even though Emily never said another word about Instagram. That silence made him more uncomfortable than anger ever had. On Wednesday night, Daniel stayed up later than usual, pretending to watch a documentary while Emily went to bed early. But his mind wasn't on the screen. It was replaying Emily's words again and again. "You hid it." He told himself it wasn't hiding. It was avoiding drama. But deep down, he knew why he'd lied. Because some part of him knew it would hurt her. The next morning, Emily received a notification from the forum. More replies, more opinions, more strangers dissecting her marriage. She read them during her lunch break, sitting alone in her car. One message stood out. Sometimes it's not about what they're looking at, the commenter wrote. It's about whether they care enough to be honest when it makes you uncomfortable. Emily closed her phone and leaned her head back against the seat. That sentence stayed with her all afternoon. That evening, when Daniel came home from work, Emily decided she couldn't keep floating in this emotional fog. She wanted clarity, even if it hurt. She waited until dinner was done and the house was quiet. "Can we talk?" she asked. Daniel nodded immediately. "Yeah, please." They sat across from each other at the kitchen table, the same place they'd once planned vacations, celebrated promotions, and laughed until midnight. Now it felt like unfamiliar territory. "I'm not trying to control you," Emily began. "I need you to understand that." Daniel nodded. "I know. But when you lie about something that small, it makes me feel stupid," she continued. "Like you think I can't handle the truth." Daniel rubbed his hands together nervously. "I didn't think you'd react calmly," he admitted. "And I didn't want another argument." Emily's voice cracked slightly. "So you chose dishonesty instead?" Daniel didn't answer right away. Finally, he said, "Yes." That honesty, late as it was, hit Emily harder than the lie. "I don't care if you notice other women," she said quietly. "I care if you disrespect me while doing it." Daniel looked up, surprised. "You really don't care?" Emily shook her head. "I care that you acted like a teenager sneaking around. That's what hurt." Daniel leaned back in his chair, exhaling slowly. For the first time, he wasn't defensive. "I guess I never thought about how it would feel from your side," he said. Emily studied his face, trying to read whether this was real reflection or just damage control. Then Daniel said something unexpected. "I grew up with social media always there," he admitted. "Scrolling became automatic. I never stopped to think about how it might affect us." That word, us, gave Emily a flicker of hope. But she didn't let her guard down. "So what happens now?" she asked. Daniel hesitated. "I don't know. I don't want to lose you over something so stupid." Emily nodded slowly. "Neither do I, but I can't keep pretending this doesn't bother me." They agreed on something simple that night. Not rules, not ultimatums, just awareness. Daniel would be more mindful. Emily would speak up sooner instead of letting resentment build. For a few days, things seemed better. Daniel stayed off Instagram in the evenings. He left his phone on the counter more often. He even showed Emily a funny video once, as if to say, "I have nothing to hide." Emily noticed the effort and appreciated it. But trust, once shaken, doesn't snap back instantly. It rebuilds slowly, piece by piece. Then, one evening, Emily's friend Farah came over. Farah had known Emily since university. She was blunt, honest, and never sugarcoated anything. After a glass of wine, Emily opened up. She told Farah everything: the post, the comments, the conversation with Daniel. Farah listened quietly, then said, "Can I be honest?" Emily nodded. "I don't think this is about Instagram," Farah said. "I think it's about feeling secure." Emily stared into her glass. "What do you mean?" "People look. That's human," Farah continued. "But lying makes you feel like you're competing with strangers on a screen." That sentence hit deep. Emily felt tears sting at her eyes. "I hate that it made me doubt myself," she whispered. Farah reached across the table. "That's the real problem." Later that night, after Farah left, Emily sat alone in the living room thinking. She realized something uncomfortable. Part of her fear wasn't about Daniel looking at other women. It was about whether she still felt chosen. The next morning, Daniel noticed Emily seemed distant again. "Did I do something?" he asked carefully. Emily shook her head. "No, I'm just thinking." "About us?" Daniel asked. "Yes," she replied honestly. That weekend, they attended a family gathering at Daniel's sister's house. Everyone laughed, shared stories, took photos for social media. From the outside, Emily and Daniel looked perfectly happy. But then, Emily overheard something that reignited everything. Daniel's cousin joked, "Man, my Instagram feed is dangerous when my wife's not around." The group laughed. Daniel laughed too. Emily felt her chest tighten. On the drive home, she stayed quiet. Daniel noticed. "Hey," he said gently, "what's wrong?" Emily turned to him. "Do you think that kind of joke is normal?" Daniel shrugged. "It's just humor." Emily looked out the window. That humor makes women feel invisible. Daniel didn't respond right away. He was starting to realize how deeply ingrained these behaviors were, how normalized. That night, he opened Instagram alone and scrolled. But this time, it felt different. Every image reminded him of Emily's face when she said, "You hid it." He closed the app, not out of guilt, but out of awareness. The next day, Daniel did something Emily didn't expect. He deleted Instagram from his phone. When Emily noticed, she looked at him, surprised. "You didn't have to do that." "I know," Daniel said. "I wanted to." That gesture meant more than any promise. But Emily also knew something important. Deleting an app was easy. Changing mindset was harder. And while things seemed calmer, life had a way of testing progress when you least expected it. Because a message, sent accidentally or maybe not, was about to surface. And when it did, it would force both Emily and Daniel to confront a truth neither of them was fully ready to face yet. What that message revealed would change the conversation entirely. The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, when Emily least expected it. Her phone buzzed while she was folding laundry, and at first, she almost ignored it. A notification preview lit up the screen. "Sorry, wrong person." The message was from an unfamiliar name. Emily frowned. Curiosity nudged her, and she opened it. What she saw next made her heart race. Above the apology sat a message that clearly wasn't meant for her. It read, "Hey, I know this is random, but your wife deserves to know. I saw Daniel liking and saving posts from a private fitness account. I'd want someone to tell me." Emily sat down on the edge of the bed, the room suddenly spinning. She read it again. And again. Saving posts, not just scrolling, not just glancing. Her hands trembled, not from anger, but from the familiar ache of betrayal creeping back in. She had believed things were improving. She had felt hope. Now that hope felt fragile again. The sender followed up quickly. "I'm not trying to cause drama. I just recognized him from a mutual friend. Do what you want with this info." Emily stared at the screen for a long time before replying. "Thank you for telling me." She didn't cry. Not yet. She waited. That evening, Daniel came home smiling, unaware of the storm waiting for him. He kissed Emily on the cheek and asked about her day. She smiled back, calm on the surface. After dinner, she placed her phone on the table between them. "Someone messaged me today," she said quietly. Daniel's expression changed instantly. "About what?" he asked. "About you." The silence that followed felt heavier than anything they'd experienced before. Emily slid the phone toward him. Daniel read the message, his face draining of color. "I can explain," he said quickly. Emily raised a hand. "Please don't lie." Daniel swallowed hard. "Yes," he admitted. "I liked some posts before I deleted the app. I didn't think it mattered." Emily felt a tear slip down her cheek, but her voice stayed steady. "It mattered because you told me you were trying." Daniel leaned forward, elbows on the table, guilt etched into his face. "I wasn't messaging anyone," he said. "I swear." Emily nodded. "I believe you." That surprised him. "But belief doesn't erase hurt," she continued. "And effort without honesty is meaningless." Daniel closed his eyes. For the first time, he truly understood that this wasn't about attraction. It was about trust breaking in tiny, repeated ways. "I don't want to be this person," he said quietly. "I don't want to hurt you." Emily studied him carefully. "Then you have to grow," she said. "Not just stop doing things. Understand why they hurt." That night, they talked longer than they ever had. About insecurity, about validation, about how social media had blurred boundaries without them even noticing. Daniel admitted that scrolling had become a habit tied to ego, not desire. Emily admitted she had been afraid of becoming invisible. There were tears. There were pauses. There were moments where neither knew what to say, but there was also honesty. In the days that followed, Daniel didn't just avoid old habits. He replaced them. He became more present. He listened. He asked questions he'd never asked before. And when he slipped, he admitted it instead of hiding. Emily, in turn, learned something important too. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about accountability. Weeks later, Emily returned to the forum. Not to vent, but to update. She wrote, "He didn't change overnight, neither did I. But honesty opened a door we didn't know was closed." The responses were different this time. Some congratulated her. Some warned her to stay aware. But most agreed on one thing. Real maturity isn't about age or gender. It's about choosing respect when no one is watching. One evening, as Emily and Daniel sat together on the couch, Daniel put his phone down without thinking. He reached for her hand instead. That small moment meant everything. And if you've ever wondered whether people truly grow up, the answer is this: they can. But only when they decide to face themselves honestly. If this story made you think or reminded you of a moment in your own life, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us share more real stories that spark meaningful conversations. Because sometimes, the biggest turning points in relationships come from the smallest moments. And growth begins the moment honesty replaces excuses.